Ah, welcome traveler. Come in, take a seat and put up your feet. Today, we are diving into a game called Going Medieval, a colony sim city builder survival game, where we will be cooking up some roleplay to enhance the gameplay. This is part 16 in our multi-part series, and if you'd like to see more of this, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let's get cooking. Welcome back. So, in the previous episode, we constructed a new farmhouse, as well as a building to house our crafting stations. And then we also looked at setting up a proper stonemason with a courtyard to house the resources necessary to get plenty of clay bricks and limestone bricks out. So in today's episode, we're going to look at constructing some more of these specialized buildings. Our settlement is coming along quite well, but there is some more that can be added to it. So today we're going to look at specifically a barn. We do have some animal enclosures over here, but we want to get something that looks a little bit better, a proper barn space, and then an outdoor area as well. And we want to design and build something that can allow the animals to travel inside and outside of the barn. In addition to this, I also want to look at setting up a kennel. Just a little small space for all of the trained animals. You'll notice we have a lot of animals running around the settlement itself. Dogs, wolves, goats, donkeys, and cattle. And I just want to give them more a flavor building where they can spend their time where they would sleep. Now, the animals might not necessarily use this space. They could end up just sleeping over here under the gate, or they would just sleep in the farmer's house or any open space really. Anywhere that's nice and warm. But we do want to set up a space for them, so at least it's for the roleplay and the flavor wise, it is, appropriate. I think we're going to set that up over here in between this gap, in the gap here between these two buildings. I think it's quite nice. It might fit. We don't need terribly big of a space, and I think we can really make that work. Then in addition to that, I also want to have a look at setting up this little trade post here, the merchant store, and relocating it to a more appropriate space. It doesn't quite do it for me up here on this ledge. I think that what we'll do is we'll construct a little area over here that works properly for a trading post. Now, we won't need a lot for the trading post. We just need the merchant stall itself and perhaps some of these meeting places, these caravan halts for our own settlers, so that we can look at also taking trading more seriously. So it won't require a lot, but let's set up a nice space over here and make that work. Right, so first things first, going to clear out some land, and then we'll look at getting this built up here. We'll be right back. So, we've gone and cleared out a little space over here. We've removed 2 of the livestock pens, as well as the building itself. And we've gone and dug down 1 floor as well. The reason for this is that we can actually set up a proper basement for the storage of hay and fodder for the animals. And then we can look at constructing the first floor, put in some nice flavor items in there for the animals, and then construct an additional floor above it as well. I'm going to quickly throw up a design and then we'll have a look at it. Alrighty, let's have a look at what we have here. So we have our barn set up. Over here we'll have a doorway, or from the back alley behind the farmer's house and behind this crafting building. So it'll be a door that goes through here. And then we have our first floor, where we'll have some space for the animals to sleep, as well as stairs going down to the basement, and in the basement we can set up storage of fodder. Then we'll also have some stairs going up into an attic area where there'll be additional storage for more fodder. It's a product that we produce a lot of. We always have extra lying around that needs to be stored away, so we're providing plenty of space for that. And it's also quite a large building. I like the idea of this being a not just a one-tone building. For example, this one is only made out of bricks, but something more along the lines of these two buildings where we have brick on the first floor and wooden beams on the second floor. We'll also have an opening over here with making use of the gates, which will actually set to permanently open just for aesthetic purposes. And we'll knock out these fences over here, and we'll take down this roofed area so that the animals can have a nice big open area where we'll leave bushes to grow and we'll leave trees to grow and start filling it in, making it more comfortable for the animals themselves. Right, so we're going to put this on build, and then when it's done we'll explore a little bit and see what it looks like.
With the hammer and the mallet, we'll have our say. We'll raise it up from dawn till dark. With song and cheer, we'll build the mark. The lads with their arms so strong, to the rhythm all day long. Wood and stone, hand in hand, we'll craft a dream from this blessed land. So stout, in the vale you'll hear the shout. Drink of mead, break of bread, together we'll rest when the sun is red. Chimneys high and walls so stout, in the vale you'll hear the shout. Drink of mead, break of bread, together we'll rest when the sun is red. Sisters bringing meals so fine, fill our cups with the barley wine. Dance a jig when the work feels light, we'll build that barn till the morning's bright. Up, up, we lift our hearts, in the barn we'll do our part. From the fields to the rooftops high, our spirit soars against the sky. So fine, fill our cups with the barley wine. Dance a jig when the work feels light, we'll build that barn till the morning's bright. Up, up, we lift our hearts, in the barn we'll do our part. From the fields to the rooftops high, our spirit soars against the sky. Our spirit soars against the sky.
And our barn is complete. Finally, we have a proper place for our animals to sleep. So, we're going to take a little bit of a look at what we have here. So, what I've gone for here is a simple door that leads off from the street into a small chamber, which is heated up. Then another door goes through to where you can start getting access to the animals themselves. What we've also gone and done is place them some food inside as well as outside. I know it's a lot of troughs, but better too much food than too little food. And they also have a heat source inside as well to keep them nice and toasty during the winter times. Then for flavor, what I've gone and done is put in these wooden fence, the more decorative variation, and just tried to make small little stalls inside this room itself. No need for the gates, this is purely just for flavor. And what we may do in the future as well is just set up, we might set up some stockpiles over here on these sides so that the fodder can also be stored inside and it just makes it look more comfortable. Then if we go downstairs, you can see there's quite a large area over here for food to be stored. And we will do the same as well on the top floor, where we'll store more food for the animals. Like I said earlier, there's a large open space outside, and we're going to allow all plants, trees, bushes, anything that naturally pops up over here, we're just going to let it grow, and we'll only get rid of things that have died. Dead bushes, dead trees, so forth. We'll only get rid of those. Anything that's alive we'll keep to make it look good for the animals. I think it fits in quite nicely with the aesthetic that we have going on at the moment. The hay roofing makes it stand out a bit, but that's okay. It's then more easily identifiable as a barn as opposed to a residential building or a industry building. Next, we're going to look at setting up the kennels over here. I'm just going to quickly clear away some of this wicker flooring, and then we can look at what we could possibly set up. Right, so the land has been cleared away, and we can look at setting up a kennel area. So what I'm thinking is perhaps we do something that has a building over here that houses the animals, and being behind these kilns over here, it would flavor wise generate heat to keep them nice and warm during the winter and during the rainy nights. And then we'll also construct a small yard over here as well, just somewhere for them to play around, run around, some vegetation can grow, just to give our animals a nice place to call home, at least the trained animals. These ones will just stay as sheep. I'm just going to keep as a source of wool and possible emergency food, as well as a good thing to trade off to traveling merchants. The cattle, however, we are trying to train them up to start hauling items for us as well. But we'll get stuck in and set up a nice design here. You might also notice that over here, we've gone and removed our tree plantation, and we've moved our tree plantation to the outside. So now what can happen is we'll chop down any trees that come closer than this, but we'll create a nice barrier of trees that we can successfully harvest enough wood for the settlement for all of the fires that need to be kept going in order to keep our settlers nice and warm. But let's quickly see what we can come up with for a design, and then we'll be right back. Right, so we've come up with this design over here for the kennels. I've taken the design of these pillars over here by the masons building and just continued them around to create the yard itself. The building itself is very simplistic. It's just floor, walls, and then we've gone and installed some windows, and we'll look at what type of door can be put in later down the line. And then it's just the roof has been thrown over. So we're going to let this run quickly and construct this, and then we'll see what it's like once it's all done. Hopefully it looks good.
In a glen where shadows dance, we light in the land with stones from the castle, the old master's plan. The dogs barked at moonlight in the cold twilight glow. We built them a shelter where wild grasses grow. Fast flew the hands with the hammer and nail, the air filled with laughter, tales and an ale. The hounds on the hill round our feet they did roam, their eyes spoke in volumes of missing the home. Round and around the moss-covered stones, sing we our toils till the break of dawn moans. A kennel for courage, for hunters and friends, building together where the wild path bends. The wind in the heather, it whispered our names, as if from the ancients, passed down through the flames. Bricks climbed up steady, each one a soul's oath, to guard the lost treasures against every foe's growth. Evening drew close with a color so gold, clouds spun in patterns the stories have told. Lads and the lasses with spirits unfurled, crafting a haven in this old twilight world. moss-covered stones. Sing we our toils till the break of dawn moans. A kennel for courage, for hunters and friends, building together where the wild path bends. Round and around the moss-covered stones, sing we our toils till the break of dawn moans. A kennel for courage, for hunters and friends, building together where the wild path bends.
Right, our kennels are complete. I think it looks pretty good. I like the fact that we continued this shape here for these pillars. It feels as if it really joins up with this building quite well. And for inside, well, we don't have anything set in here yet, but we will be setting in some heat, a heat source. And then I'll look at different possible door designs as well later on down the line. Once I brew up and cook up some ideas for how this can look, we might just go with something simplistic if I can't figure out something that looks, you know, unique enough. Right, but next we do want to have a look at over here. We want to set up a trading post. So we will one day have a city square, so to speak, for the settlement. And I do have some ideas for that. But I don't want to implement too many of them here on this market square. But it will be in a square shape, and it will have little pillars and be more of an outdoor type construction, not really a building per se, but more just a small area to house the market stall and caravan halts and so forth. So I'm going to quickly throw up a design here, and then we'll be right back and discuss it. And here is the design itself. Nothing terribly fancy, but simplistic enough to get the job done. So as you can see, we do have the pillars thrown around the outside. The market stall will be moved up here into the center, and we've also left enough space over here to allow for a street to be constructed that will eventually lead to the proper oak shrine. Now, it's not terribly intricate or a fantastic design, but it gets the job done for the simplicity that we need for a market area. Right, let's do the quick build of this and get it out of the way.
In the valley by the river's bend, stone by stone our work begins. With timber tall and ancient bark, we lay the bones in the morning dark. Through mists of dawn and evening light, we labor hard until the night. With songs of old on lips that hum the trading post, the market drum. Through days of cheer, the lads are strong, with calloused hands that sing their song. From far and wide they'll come to trade, in the post our forebears laid. Whispers ancient tales of merchants' roads and weary trails. From yonder hills they'll bring their wares to sell beneath our watchful stares. A tapestry of lives entwined echoes through the halls we find. With every brick and timber placed, a marketplace our dreams embrace. From dawn to dusk the fires burn, as families wait for their return. We'll carve out lives, a future clear, from countless paths that lead to here.
There we go, it's finished. Like I said before, something simplistic, not complicated at all, and it does the job perfectly. We may look at customizing some of these pillars, turning them around, maybe adding some accentuations onto them, but for the time being, this gets the job done. All in all, we've accomplished quite a lot in this episode. Yet again, we've constructed 3 rather large buildings, or rather 2 large buildings and a small open market square. But I still think that we're making good progress for the settlement, and in future projects we can actually look at finally upgrading this wall and giving a little bit needed love and attention to the shrines themselves as well. I'm really liking how things are coming together, and I think that the settlement is going to be thriving and booming soon. In fact, I think that we might need to construct some more living quarters, because I don't think we've hit the population cap yet, and I think there might be some more people joining in the future, that we need to at least find some space for them and figure out what we're actually going to do with them. Now that we actually have our more specialized industries and production set up, we can actually look at having settlers that are dedicated to specific areas of the settlement. For example, farmers that are only farming, we allocate these rooms specifically for them and they only deal with the animals and the crops. And other individuals that will only be doing the mason work, and others that will only be living inside the castle itself. But we can look at that in the future, as I think that this is all the time that we've had for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining and for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as that would greatly help the channel. If you would like to be kept updated as to new videos being released, then please hit that notification bell. If you have any feedback, suggestions or requests, leave a comment down below and let us know. Until next time, this is Roast Temp. Keep cooking.